All right, let's get right into it. If you're running a home care agency or even just thinking about it, this is for you. We're talking about one of the first and most critical decisions you have to make. How do you classify your caregivers? Are they a W-2 employee or a 1099 contractor? Trust me, this isn't just paperwork. Getting this right is foundational, and getting it wrong, well, that could be a complete disaster for your business.
And I wanted to put this quote right up front because it doesn't pull any punches, does it? It's about as direct as you can get. This isn't a small administrative error we're talking about. It's a high-stakes legal issue, and making the wrong move can land you in some seriously hot water.
So yeah, that really sets the stage. Let's call this what it is, a very common but incredibly risky business mistake. It's so easy for new agencies to think, oh, I'll just classify them as contractors, it's simpler, but that's a huge trap. This decision has really deep legal and financial consequences. Choosing the wrong path isn't just a mistake, it can genuinely put everything you've worked so hard to build at risk.
So when it comes down to it, you've really got two main paths you can go down. Two totally distinct legal classifications for your caregivers. It is absolutely crucial to understand the rules of the road for each one. So let's break them down, shall we? This table lays it out pretty clearly. Over on the W-2 side, you've got your standard employee. You're paying them an hourly wage, you're withholding taxes, you're covering them with things like workers' comp. Now look at the 1099 side. It's a totally different ballgame. They get a flat fee for a service, they handle all their own taxes, and they don't get those same protections. They are, for all intents and purposes, their own little business. Let's dig a little deeper into that W-2 path. This is the traditional route, right? As the employer, your responsibilities are crystal clear. You're setting the pay, you're managing the taxes, and you're providing that safety net with workers' comp and unemployment. And here's the big one. These folks are protected by labor laws, and that absolutely includes things like getting paid overtime.
Okay, now let's flip the coin and look at the 1099 contractor. The key word here really is independence. You pay them a set fee for a job, and that's kind of it. They are completely on their own for taxes. So it's a clear trade-off. They get way more control over how they work and when they work, but they give up all those protections that come with being an employee, like overtime pay.
So you've got these two very different paths. W-2 employee, 1099 contractor. How in the world do you actually decide which one applies? Well, here's the thing. It might seem super complicated, but it actually boils down to one single powerful concept.
So think about it for a sec. With all these rules and regulations, where do you think most new home care agencies get tripped up? What is the single biggest, most common trap they fall right into?
Boom, there it is. This is the absolute heart of the matter. So many agencies try to have their cake and eat it too. They want the financial ease of a 1099 contractor, but they also want to keep the day-to-day control of a W-2 employee. They set the schedules, they dictate exactly how things are done, and then they try to call that person a contractor. And our source material is blunt. That is straight up illegal.
It all comes down to this one simple word, control. The IRS, the Department of Labor, they don't really care what you call the worker. They care about what you do. If you're telling a caregiver not just what the job is, provide care, but also exactly when they have to show up and how they have to perform their duties, well, you're exercising control. That example of setting a 9-to-5 shift, that is the textbook definition of control. And that control is the legal line in the sand. It's what makes them an employee, period.
Okay, so now that we know control is the magic word, the main deciding factor, how can we make sure we get this right every single time? It really boils down to a fundamental shift in how you think about the whole thing.
You have to burn this into your brain. This isn't a business strategy. This isn't about what's easier for payroll or what you think might save you a few bucks. The classification of a worker is dictated 100% by the legal standards the IRS has put in place. It's based on the reality of your working relationship with them.
And that right there brings us to the most important takeaway from this whole explainer. I want you to think of it this way. You don't choose a classification. You apply a legal test to the relationship. And the result of that test, well, that tells you what the classification is. The facts of the situation, primarily how much control you have, make the decision for you.
So I'm just going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Misclassifying a caregiver as a 1099 contractor, yeah, it might seem easier or a little cheaper today. But when you stack that up against the massive risk of audits, of back taxes, of fines, of lawsuits, you've got to ask yourself, is that little bit of short-term convenience really worth risking the entire future of your agency? Really think about that.